What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Destroy coming at you with our other video today. Um, on this Thanksgiving Day, going over some wide receivers. Tyreek Hill's the most expensive wide receiver by $1,200. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans get split up for the first time in a few weeks. So yeah, let's look at it. Got some questionable players here. Got some really good matchups. So first off, yeah, Tyreek Hill 8,900. Oh man, you might think it's a little expensive. Oakland's defense has been terrible, and this is Tyreek Hill we're talking about. Um, last week, yeah, you can't even say anything about last week. Tyreek Hill is just going to destroy Oakland this week. I'm heavily favoring him, as you should too. Like Oakland's defense had a good run there of being a pretty good defense, pretty good offense, but they're not going to compete against Kansas City here, in my opinion, especially with Kansas City being at home. So I'm definitely interested in Tyreek Hill and the Kansas City receiving team. Chris Godwin, 7,700 against Jacksonville. Jacksonville is, they're decent against the pass. They're a decent defense. They're just not what they used to be with Jalen Ramsey playing and starting every week. I'm not too high on Godwin as much as I am Evans this week. Last week it was the opposite way around. And if you played Godwin last week, you probably cashed if you played Godwin over Evans. But I'm just huge on Mike Evans this year. Maybe a little biased because I have him on fantasy teams, but yeah. Mike Evans has just been producing all year round. They both have 1,000 receiving yards now. Mike Evans has gone, 3 weeks? Yeah, 3 weeks without a touchdown. And he's due against a Jacksonville team that is just all over the place. Cooper Kupp, I think, is in a really good position for a bounce back game. The whole Rams offense is. I have Cooper Kupp in both teams, and it's killed me that he's got 17.8 points in the last 3 games. It's killed me, especially being one of the top receivers in the league. Yeah, it really destroyed me. They're playing against an Arizona Cardinals defense that is fifth in the league in fantasy points allowed to receivers. They've allowed 12 touchdowns this year, almost 2,000 receiving yards to receivers. And it's Cooper Kupp. He's due for a bounce back game. Really good price, 7,100. Like him there for cash. Davante Adams against the Giants. If Davante Adams plays, sure, you can go Davante Adams 7K. To get Davante Adams for 7K is kind of crazy to think about for the most part. So if he plays against the Giants, I'm perfectly fine with playing him. Already talked about Mike Evans. DJ Moore, went off last week, surprisingly. Going against the Washington team, whose defense has got slightly better in the passing game. They've allowed 13 touchdowns and 1,600 receiving yards to receivers. DJ Moore has just really been a solid player with Kyle Allen. You look at his numbers all year, and they've been pretty decent. I think he's becoming that receiver they wanted him to become. So if he plays at home against Washington, I'm fine with playing him here. The 68 price point is just kind of brings up question marks, but I'm fine with playing him. Odell Beckham playing against Pittsburgh. I really don't want to target any Cleveland players this week against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh allowed 12 receiving touchdowns and almost 1,700 receiving yards to receivers. But they're on the road. And this whole Cleveland offense has been really underperforming. To think that Odell Beckham, statistically was one of the best receivers coming into this year, only have 2 games above 20 fantasy points and only 2 touchdowns is crazy to hear about. He's also banged up. Jarvis Landry is, becoming the better receiver. Probably Baker's favorite receiver. And I'd be more safe playing Jarvis here than Odell just for touchdown reasons, clearly. DJ Chark, against Tampa Bay, I'm really fine with playing here. Tampa Bay, worst pass defense in the league, allowed 18 receiving touchdowns, almost 2,300 receiving yards to receivers. And DJ Chark is a guy that just gets targets and receptions. The touchdowns are just bonuses for him at this point. Really good play here. I think, yeah, you really need to get some of that Jacksonville receiving this week, no matter who it is, against a really bad Tampa Bay team and a Jacksonville team that really needs to win. So if Nick Foles can produce, then yeah, DJ Chark should have a really great game. Kyle Allen, I'm staying away from against Denver. Denver's defense has just been pretty good. Emmanuel Sanders against Baltimore. I think if he plays, it's looking like a really good game for him. He just hasn't really done much since joining the 49ers team. We've clearly seen that San Francisco is a run team. This game should be a really, really good game. So I'm probably going to get some exposure in the San Fran-Baltimore game. Just don't know who yet. Yeah, you can see a lot of questionables here. If T.Y. Hilton plays against Tennessee, I'm perfectly fine with playing T.Y. Hilton. He hasn't had the greatest numbers this year, but we really haven't seen him fully connect with Tannehill. AJ Green, if he plays, won't participate. If he plays, you have to go AJ Green this week. You don't have to, but I just said you have to. Andy Dalton's going to be back at quarterback. AJ Green is 6,000 against the Jets defense, which can be exploited, and we've seen it, but they also can be pretty elite, as we've also seen. But if he plays, I'm so playing AJ Green this week. Juju, I'm not playing against Cleveland. Juju just hasn't done much of anything this year, and he's been banged up for the last 5, 6, 7 weeks. So he just hasn't been fully healthy, and Pittsburgh's offense is all over the place. Their defense is holding them on. Golden Tate against Green Bay. You just have to watch every week with the Giants. Just watch injuries. That's my only comment on the Giants players there. Golden Tate, Shepard, Ingram. That's my only comment on it. Cortland Sutton against the Chargers. I really don't like Denver's offense in this game against the Chargers. Chargers defense has been all over the place of playing really elite and then playing really bad. Their pass defense is third in the league, though. Only allowed 1,400 receiving yards and only 7 receiving touchdowns. So I don't want to go at any Denver receivers here for the most part. Devontae Parker, at this point, why not? My only problem with it is the Philadelphia Eagles, allow a lot to receivers, but their defense has been getting better and better. Miami's offense has been playing better, but you just look at his numbers. He hasn't had under 10 points since week 3, which is crazy for a Miami Dolphin. Philly can easily just shut down this Miami offense, but Devontae Parker's got at least 10 targets in the last 3 games, and he really hasn't got that much touchdowns, which, kind of makes you hopeful, especially with Miami not having any running back. So I'm 5,700, sure, I'm fine with playing him. Christian Kirk against the Rams, I think this game should be a high-scoring game. Christian Kirk is clearly the number 1 receiver in that offense, especially when he's fully healthy. Just look at his targets lately. 1 game under 9 in the last 4 games, which is crazy. And then he only has 3 touchdowns, and thankfully they came in the week where I had him. So that has been a huge boost. Jamison Crowder against the Bengals. In all honesty, the Bengals have a decent pass defense. Only allowed 1,700 yards, 9 touchdowns. If this Jets offensive Sam Darnold can actually produce, which they should, I'm fine with playing Crowder. Crowder is my favorite on the Jets for receivers, just based off of his receptions. So, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with playing Crowder here. I actually like Crowder this week. McLaurin against Carolina. You could play McLaurin against Carolina. You just have to trust that Dwayne Haskins is going to throw 12 times to Terry McLaurin again. Tyler Boyd, if AJ Green is out, Tyler Boyd's a really good option here against the Jets. If AJ Green is in, wouldn't be as much of a favorite here. Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks is healthy. Robert Woods is probably really been consistent with his receiving. Just really consistent with his receiving. He gets a decent amount of yards after catch, which benefits. The only problem with him is he does have one touchdown this year. Brandon Cooks, it's the same thing. So it's really a toss-up if you go anybody other than Cooper Kupp. But I would go Robert Woods over Brandon Cooks. Tyrell Williams is, keep saying it, the number one receiver there. It's just, like I said, the Oakland offense has just been underperforming, to say the least. So it's hard to have that faith in Tyrell Williams like we did in the beginning of the season. Sammy Watkins, like, you could play anybody against Oakland's defense this week on Kansas City, and they're more than likely going to have a really good game. A.J. Brown against Indianapolis. I mean, A.J. Brown has been, just up and down. It's way too hard to commit to any Tennessee wide receiver. So I'm not going A.J. Brown here. Marquise Brown. I mean, the man finally gets another 2-touchdown game. It's been since week 1. It's just Lamar Jackson is just crazy, crazy good. I'm not playing Marquise Brown this week. I'm not even going to look at him this week. San Francisco just has a really good defense. The only way that I could see Marquise Brown is if he's lined up against Richard Sherman and just does pass him. Already said about the Giants receivers, Deebo Samuel. 9 times out of 10, I like Deebo Samuel over Emmanuel Sanders. I've liked him since the beginning of the season. So if he plays, I'll play Deebo Samuel over Emmanuel Sanders. Alshon Jeffrey, if Alshon plays, I'm playing Alshon Jeffrey this week, 100%. He's 5,100. He is their red zone receiver. And he's been, pretty consistent with getting his targets this year. So if he plays, I am playing Alshon Jeffrey this week. Larry Fitzgerald, still in a really good matchup. Christian Kirk is just, their go-to guy. But I think Larry Fitzgerald's going to have his consistent numbers again with everyone healthy on that Arizona offense. D.D. Westbrook, like I said, you could take anybody on Jacksonville's pass offense, and they're probably going to have a really good game this week. James Washington, no, not a chance. Like I said, that Pittsburgh offense is just really all over the place, playing a third-string quarterback here against Cleveland. Robbie Anderson, it's not a bad play. Like I said, I just like Jamison Crowder for his receptions and his targets. Anderson just gets touchdowns, which really help his case. Curtis Samuel, just got to watch injuries for that pass offense for Carolina. Pascal, I'm not taking anybody but T.Y. Hilton if I was to take anybody. Mike Williams against Denver, I can't. He really hasn't exploded like he was supposed to, and Denver's pass defense is pretty good. Chris Conley, like I said, Jacksonville receivers. Anybody else is pretty much a toss-up. I mean, you could play Valdez-Scantling here against the Giants, so it wouldn't be a bad play at all. But, I mean, he just hasn't done anything this year. Anything. So it's hard to go anybody else but Devontae Adams, especially at his price. And then everybody else, guys, is pretty much a toss-up. Just pretty much is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video too. If you are interested, I did post a video going over the 3-game Thanksgiving slate. So definitely check that out. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Subscribe for more content, guys, the more subscribers that we just continue to build. It just motivates me even more to keep posting videos and making this content. So I really appreciate all the support, guys. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.